Hello everyone and welcome to another Java tutorial. Today we're going to talk about the inner classes. What exactly is an inner class? An inner class is when we insert a class inside another class. It's that simple. Let's see the methods that we can do the following thing. Now open up your Eclipse and let's create a new project, a new Java project. Let's name it lesson 35. And then we're gonna go there, we can create our packets like we always do. And then inside our packets, we can create our main class with our main method. And then let's create another class. And let's name this class the outer class, for example, so that it will be more clearly for us. Inside the outer class, let's create a field, private integer, this is our secret, and let's say 5. So, the first way to create an inner class is by a method which is located inside the class. Also, so a method located inside the class. Let's see an example. Now we are inside this class, this outer class. These are the limits here and here. Then we can create a method, for example, public void my method. And be careful, now we are inside a method, and this method is inside this class. And let's say that that inside this method we just say outer method is here. And before I close this method, I just write class inner. This is the inner class. And I open up my brackets, and as you can see, I created a class inside the method, which method is inside my outer class. And now also something very important that is also often asked in the certifications of Oracle, that inside the class, if we want to have many inner classes, we can only have one public class. Only one public class. The other classes that we will create will be just class and then the name. If I write public, then I have an error. Remove invalid modifiers. So we have an inner class here, and inside our inner class, let's create another method. Let's say public void my inner method. It's like Inception. And let's say here inner method here. And then in order to access the inner class, let's say access the inner class, we should create an object of this inner class, inner my inner, and then we can call our method my inner method here. And now if we go to our main class and we create, let's remove this, we create outer my class, new outer, and then we can create my class and call my method. What do you think that will come? That will be printed out. As you can see, what it's being printed out is the outer method is here and the inner method is here. And let's see in detail why does that happen. So we create an outer instance and then we call my method, and then inside my method we have first the outer method is here, system.out.println. That's why it comes first, as you can remember. And then we have another class, an inner class, and the method inside this other inner class. And in order for this method to be printed out, we need to create an instance of this class and call this method. So the order is when we call the my method, it prints this out, and then it comes here, it creates an instance, it comes here, it calls this method, and then it comes here and it calls the second method, and that's why we have this outcome. This is how we do it with by calling a method. The next way to do to create an inner class would be by creating a static inner class. For example, we can do the following. We can write static class, let's say less static, and then we can just say static void my print, and let's say static storm, for example. This is it. And don't forget that create and call it like a static method in the main. It's like calling a static method. For example, if we go to the main class here, we can do the following. We can say the name of the static class and then just call the method. So static storm. This is how it works, but don't forget it is an inner class. It is an inner static class. The next way, which is a little more complicated to create a class, an inner class, is by creating a nested class, a non-static nested inner class. And these nested inner classes can access any private instances of the outer class. That's why we did create this private data field here. And it has a special way to call it. So let's create it. Let's say class my nest, for example, and let's create public void nested print. This will be our method, and let's say system.out.println, and now you can see that we can use the data field here. Although we are inside another class, this class is an inner class, and that's why we can use everything that we put in the data field here from the outer class. So let's see how we can call this one. This one is a little bit tricky, and we can go to the main and use the following. We say first outer, we first call the outer, and then we call the my nest, our class. Then we just set a variable name, and then we say new outer, then dot, then new my nest, and this is how you create it. Did I? This should be small. And this is how you create it. And in order to call it, you just do the following. You say, you write the variable, and then the method that you want to call. Let's see if it works. It works. As you can see, the 5 is the number of our private field here. So it worked, and we could also do it. We could also call it. And now let's see the last way to do it, to create an inner class, is by calling an anonymous class. It is a class declared without a name. And how to create it? Let's say that we have an interface. Let's create an interface. Let's say that the name of the interface is anonymous class. And we have here public void anonymous method. If you remember from our previous lessons, in an interface you just and you don't need to put public here, it's redundant. You just need the return type, the name, and the signature, the parameters. So the signature is the whole. You don't need the body. And let's go to our main class and main method, and here you can do the following. We can say anonymous class, my anonymous, for example, here. And as you can see, Eclipse is intelligent enough and it auto writes the method that is inside the interface. It overrides it. So, and as you can see, I did make a mistake here. I wrote it with one S, so let's just leave it like that. And let's say, for example, inside this overridden method, inside the overridden method, let's write it like that. And then in order to call it, you just go outside this field and you say my anonymous, then the dot, and then you call the anonymous method. And let's see if it works. Inside the overridden method, it works. So these are the 4 ways to create inner classes. Inner classes can be sometimes useful, but not always. We will see later on this course some examples where you can use some inner classes, and they will be really helpful for your projects. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them on the comment section below, or just send me a message. Thank you all for watching.